Okay, so we're joined today by one of our most loyal listeners, Sara, in Vietnam, and she's going to tell us about her current situation. She's in a crazy situation at the moment, and we thought we wanted to interview her and talk to her about it. So, my name is Morgan. This podcast is Brad is a Bad Person. I'm your host. I'm joined as always by Lachlan.
Hello.
And Bradley.
Hello.
And not as always by Sara. Hello, Sara.
Hello. Hi.
Thanks so much for talking to us today. We really appreciate this. And, you know, you're in a bit of a tricky spot at the moment. You live in Vietnam and you were forced out of your dwelling into a
whisked
quarantine
away
camp.
by the secret police.
First of all, how are you feeling? Are you physically okay? Are you mentally okay?
Physically, yeah, I'm fine. Mentally, I don't know. I've been shifting a lot between like upset and then kind of thinking the whole situation is so funny that I feel a bit crazy, but
it sounds interesting.
So you're trying to keep in good spirits despite the situation.
yeah, I think it's the only thing that I can do at this point is just try and stay positive and not freak out, because it's not very helpful to freak out in like a quarantine camp.
Absolutely.
I guess
But it is hilarious though, so weigh those up.
Yeah, it's strangely funny. It's a strangely funny situation. I'll definitely agree with that.
All right, so can you tell us in your own words what happened? How did you end up in this quarantine camp?
Thursday morning, I was just sitting at home. I was actually working, and I teach online, so I was teaching at the time, and I heard a bunch of commotion outside, and I told my students, I was like, oh man, guys, I think the police are here. Like, I think they're coming to get us because the virus. And that's totally what happened. They came in the house and sanitized everything, like sprayed down everything. And then they came in my room and they tested me for the virus, which is really horrible test. They stick the swab really far in your nose.
Oh, God.
And then
I've seen a picture of that.
Kind of sat there for a couple hours, like shitting myself. I freaked out not knowing what was going to happen.
Oh, my God. That sounds terrifying.
It's never good when police come for you in a communist country.
Yeah, it was really freaky. Yeah, exactly. Kind of like pretty crazy situation to be in. But then kind of once they told us we're going to camp, I kind of just accepted it. I was like, okay, well, that's what's happening. I called my embassy and they said, yeah, go to camp. Like, you have to go. So
I guess there's not really a plan, an option B there, is there? It's basically do what they say, or well, you just get sent to a different kind of camp.
Yeah, that was my thinking too. Like, I guess it's better than the alternative.
Yeah, that's right.
Plus, my friend is here also. Actually, she's in Building H, so I can see her. I could see her building out my window. So, hey, Almira, what's up? If you listen to this later, like, hey.
Oh, so you guys they didn't put you together?
No, it's quarantine, Brad. It's isolation.
Yeah, but they're all being self-isolated together. Could have put them in adjacent rooms or something.
You know, that's what I was hoping we'd be like in the same building, but they group people by like where you came from, and she came from a different apartment complex, and so all her people are like over in Building H, and we're in Building C.
I think they're just trying to keep the Americans apart so they don't, fight against all that communist tyranny.
I mean, it could be. She's from Las Vegas, so.
Oh.
Wow. So I imagine it was a real shock to get that knock on your door, and it would have been a really chaotic and intense moment. Was there also a language barrier that you had to deal with? Do you speak Vietnamese, or did the authorities speak English well?
No. So the guys came, they had the blue suit, and like basically the only thing they could tell me was like test, like they're going to test me.
Oh my God.
We'll test you. And then that's like all they said.
That is terrifying.
Wow.
That is genuinely terrifying.
Yeah. Because I mean, I speak enough Vietnamese to like go to the market and go out to eat, like not to deal with like medical professionals in a pandemic situation.
Probing your nostrils.
I know anytime someone showed up and tried to shove something up my nose, it's never gone well. So
yeah, it doesn't usually.
So can you tell us what's going on in the facility that you're in? Are the authorities communicating with you much? Are you comfortable? Are they giving you everything that you need?
Yeah, like they give us food and like, you know, it's a bit of rough living because it's an army barracks actually. So like it's, you know, meant for young army boys to make them tough, but like we have everything we need. I can send you guys pictures. There's also a bunch of pictures on my Instagram. But yeah, I mean, they've given me so much water. It's like too much water. I don't know what to do with it. It's too much. So they've been very nice.
Okay. So it's like a luxury stay at a communist hotel. There's actually food there.
Yes.
And speaking of your Instagram, we will put a link to it in the description of this episode for anyone listening who wants to check those photos out.
If you want us to, if you want to be private.
No, that's fine. Of course. Yeah, people want to see it. It's interesting,
get the word out.
Know?
Get the word out from inside the communist regime.
But you asked about communication, and so far there's really been like none. Like I just sit here by myself all day, and then they come in the morning and they bring me breakfast and they take my temperature and they come in and they sanitize my bathrooms. Like they spray all over it, which I think is kind of weird. I don't know why they do that since I'm the only one in here. And then they bring me lunch and dinner, and then that's like it. Otherwise, I'm just kind of like sitting in a room.
Man, I don't know. Give me a good collection of movies and books, and that sounds pretty sweet to me.
Yeah, that's kind of like I brought, you know, my yoga mat and like some cross stitch projects, and I like have 3 books on my phone. Like I'm fine. I'm not, you know, it's not horrible.
You're not at any risk of mental break yet, is that what you said?
No. And like I have a window, like, and I like there's people outside.
Oh, the small luxuries. I have a window.
I mean, if I couldn't look outside, I would be pretty freaked.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Can you wave to your friend across in the other building? Can you make eye contact and give him a wave?
No, she's like on the wrong part of it. I can't see her. It's really sad, but I can see like her building.
You just know she's in there. So that's comforting in a way.
Yeah.
So you mentioned
your
Instagram.
I could text her.
Your Instagram story is very funny and upbeat. I've been following it, and your posts on Instagram are usually quite quirky and funny as well. So would you say you're sincerely optimistic and seeing this as a crazy adventure, or is joking around about it like a coping mechanism because it is so stressful?
I think both things are true. It depends on the moment. Like sometimes I really just can't believe how crazy it is, but other times I'm really like, okay, I need to force myself to be positive because this is so crazy.
Absolutely.
And, you know, not only about being here, but also the world is ending outside of here as well. So like America's going to shit. So
it's really,
we're in lockdown here. I've been
working
working at home for the last week, and I'm starting to lose my mind.
He's got dozens of windows.
Yeah, people are. You know, like maybe you'll take those dozens of windows, like you'll not take them for granted anymore because you'll think of me.
So apart from posting on Instagram, what are you doing to try to keep yourself sane? You said you're reading books. You obviously have internet access. So are you watching Netflix and listening to music and podcasts, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I've really officially only been here one full day, and my friend who was here before me recommended I bring some cleaning chemicals. And so yesterday I kind of like cleaned everything really good, which was a good use of my like nervous energy. Yeah. But today I tried to stay a bit active. Yeah, I think as the time goes on, I'll just like read and, meditate. I started doing that over the past few months. And I think that I was preparing myself for this.
Yeah. With all the time on your own, you'll probably find nirvana.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
Maybe this is how I get enlightened.
You play a game where you lick as many stamps in an hour as you can, and then the next hour try and beat that.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was a Simpsons reference.
Yeah, bit of Simpsons there. But I think Sarah, is it the chaos that's really causing you a lot of stress here? Because it's not like you've been told this is going to be 2 weeks and then it's going to go back to normal on this date and everything just returns to normal. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. So I assume that's the really stressful part of it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and I'm from America, and America's really going to shit right now. And I just feel like if some horrible things happen when I'm in here, it'll be extra bad. But yeah, like they say 2 weeks, but who knows what's going to happen within 2 weeks. That's like a long time. A lot could happen. This is pretty crazy.
And I suppose it's like you said, it's extra scary being there and not being, I guess, in your home country. It's that adds an extra layer of uncertainty to it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel pretty comfortable like navigating myself here. I've been here 2 years, but this is like a pretty unique situation that I've never had to even think about dealing with.
Okay, so this is the first time you've been held in a concentration camp.
It is, yes. Actually, yes. Anywhere, actually. My first time ever. It's my first.
Well, I was going to ask, since you're American, people came to your door and they were telling you to go with them to a quarantine facility. How do you think that sort of scenario would go down in America? Do you think people would just willingly go with them, or I don't know?
No. Like, no way. Oh my God. There would be like, oh no. That's the funny thing too, is all the people back home like aren't even staying home, and I'm like, bitch, stay home. Like, I'm in a camp. You have it fine.
We where we live, we just had a big outrage today. About 100. Someone took a picture of about 100 cars lined up at a beach just near mine and Lachlan's house. So people clearly are not self-isolating, and there was a huge outrage. So yeah, it's people aren't listening.
Yeah, totally. Nobody's listening, and I'm like, here they make you listen.
Yeah, I feel like if police were telling me what to do in Australia, I might have the courage to just go, no, fuck off, I'm just doing my thing. But if I was in a foreign country and I didn't speak the language, I'd be like, if you're not going to shoot me, I'll do whatever you want me to do. Okay, Sarah, so you said you moved to Vietnam 2 years ago. Do you mind if we ask why you moved to Vietnam? You were in Colorado before that, is that correct?
No, actually before that I was living in the Philippines. I was working as a chef on a yacht.
Wow.
Oh, hell yeah.
And yeah, it was pretty nice, but it was really boring, and the Philippines didn't have very much of like Western
too much
style convenience. Yeah, the pirate life wasn't for me.
All right, so you jumped ship, so to speak, and went to Vietnam.
Yeah, like Actually, I came here on vacation and I just didn't go back to the Philippines.
Oh, wow.
I just stayed. I had all my stuff sent over, and I just stayed here. I didn't have that much stuff at that time, though. I had like just a backpack full of shit, so it was pretty easy, to move.
A couple of parrots and a peg leg. Yep, we get it.
I let them stay on the boat. I didn't need them anymore.
So what was it about Vietnam that drew you? What made you want to stay after the
Well,
holiday?
I really like it here. The food is really great. The people are super nice.
The quarantine camps are excellent.
Yeah, like considering when we look in the grand scheme of the types of camps people have been put in.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
It's a nice gulag.
Yeah, like there's way worse. Like this is pretty good for a camp, as far as forced camping. This is pretty good.
Do you think that being an American citizen is going to be a benefit to you there? Like they'll treat you nicer? Or do you think you're worried that they still haven't forgiven what your country did to them in the 60s and 70s?
It's funny. When I first came here, I told people I was Canadian.
I think that's the number one rule for Americans traveling abroad is you're not American, you're Canadian.
Yeah. But then, like, it's really strange here, actually. They'll have, like, Jeeps with, like, U.S. Army logo on it. And, like, it's like they've forgiven. Especially, I live in the South, and so, like, the culture, it's a bit different here. Like, the North is a lot more, like, strict to the party lines and more traditional. And the South is a little bit more, like, modern and more Western in general.
So the complete opposite to the US, then?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, well, the South were on your side. Our side. We fought as well, so we were there with you. Yeah, the South was on
not us
the LA side,
specifically.
so.
I feel I need to make that clear. The three of us weren't there.
How old are you?
we were conscientious objectors.
Okay, pussies.
Yeah. We made a post on our social media about a week and a half ago about the toilet paper shortages, and you commented on that post with a picture of some fully stocked shelves in Vietnam, and you said, I live in a blessed country with no hoarding so far. So did that ramp up quickly after that, or is it still, apart from the quarantine camp, is there not too much panic in the country from what you can see?
Yeah, really calm, honestly. The government announced they're shutting down the city this weekend, like as far as not allowing travel and only having the grocery stores open. But they've announced that since I've been in here, so things could have changed. But yeah, like I could still get hand sanitizer really easily, and like didn't seem like there was any sort of panic buying except for masks.
We've got nothing but panic buying here.
It's fantastic.
Same in the US. It's really it blows my mind. It's so crazy. Oh, hold on 1 second. I have to answer the door once.
No problem.
No worries. Okay, listeners. So Sarah's getting a knock at the door from the authorities here, and I think it's just a routine check-in. Maybe take her temperature or something like that. But we're gonna stick with her. So there's probably going to be a cut in the audio here, but hopefully everything comes back and everything's okay.
It's either that or they've been watching her internet traffic and they have found that she's speaking to Western media. And she's about to be disappeared.
I think the latter is much more likely.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, so you didn't get disappeared.
Sorry, they came to the door. So
did they want anything? Was there?
Yeah, they wanted to take my temperature, and then they also asked me if I have been to Buddha Bar, which is this bar where there was like a huge outbreak of the virus.
Okay.
People, of course, at the bar like smoking cigarettes and like not being careful with their hands, and so like something like 17 people got infected there, and That's actually why
Okay.
I'm here. Is one of the guys who got infected there lived in my building, so
Okay.
he tested positive. So they took us. They took us away.
So it's his fault. It's all his fault that you're where you are now.
It's kind of unique that you
Yeah,
can
kind
trace
of.
it back to one person and know who to blame.
Yeah. No, the guy that started the big infection at that bar, he was actually a pilot. And I was like, how could a pilot be so stupid? Like, he was flying from Italy, I think, and he was supposed to be self-quarantining, and he didn't. He went out and partied.
Holy shit.
Do you,
So now
do you
I'm here.
think executions are in order for these sort of people, or are you against the death penalty?
Well, in general, I'm pretty okay with the death penalty, but I think that that might be a little strict in this case.
Wow.
Yeah, well, it would be very frustrating. But so if you weren't in the camp now, you'd be teaching classes. Can you still teach classes from inside the camp?
No, it's the internet isn't reliable enough, and it's just like it's too hectic here. Like, people could come to the door, or like, I have no idea what's going to happen. They could come in 2 hours and say I tested positive and take me to some hospital. Like, who knows?
So you haven't got the
God.
results for your test back yet. You don't know if you're cleared or not.
Yeah, not yet.
Wow.
Probably tomorrow.
I assume though you're not experiencing any symptoms. Otherwise, you'd probably be a little bit more worried than what you seem to be.
Yeah. I haven't had anything.
Good. That's good.
So yeah. So hopefully that just stays that way, and hopefully they let me out in 2 weeks. That would be best case scenario, I guess.
Yeah, back to normal if possible. Yeah, so is there anything that you want to talk about? Anything you think we missed that you think people would want to know?
Well, I think in general, I would just encourage people who are in places where you're supposed to stay home, just please do it. Because it could be a lot worse, and it could get a lot worse. And if you just stay home for a while, like, I think it might be a lot longer than they're saying. But if you just stay home, it'll end faster. And, that's about it. Quit going out to the bar.
That is excellent advice.
Excellent advice.
If you're a pilot and you've recently been in northern Italy and you're not supposed to go to the bar, just fucking have drinks in your hotel room. You can't.
Yeah, stay home.
That goes for pirates as well.
Also, in general, they've been treating us really nice here, and the people that work here are very, like, friendly and stuff. Like, that's obviously good. It's not super comfortable, but it is what it is. I think what they're doing is actually really helping stop the spread, because they're taking all the people who were in contact with infected people and seeing if we're infected, and then we can go home. So I think it is helpful. My biggest fear is that I come into contact with another infected person and they send me back.
Oh no, yeah.
Oh god.
That'd be fantastic.
Like, what if I get out? Yeah.
I don't mean to sound racist here, but you should probably try to avoid Italians at all costs.
There's someone in my group with a questionable European accent. I just would stay away. You never know.
Say arrivederci to that motherfucker. Get him out of here. Sarah, you've been a big fan of us for a while now, and we have a lot of fans and a lot of listeners, but you're one of our most loyal fans who comments on our stuff and gets in touch with us, and we really love that and appreciate it. So can I ask you how you originally found our podcast, a American living in the Philippines and Vietnam? It's not our typical audience member.
Yeah, I saw a comment on Reddit.
Oh god, that was probably me.
Really?
Oh, Lachlan, look at that.
Long time ago.
There we go. See, I'm bringing the audience in.
That viral market.
I was thinking about it earlier. It must have been like over a year ago, because I think I was just moving into my old house like 2 apartments ago in Dalat, in another city. And so, yeah, I think it was like over a year ago.
Well, thank you very much for listening to us
we
for this
appreciate it.
long. And what is
Yeah,
wrong
thank
with you?
you,
Why are
guys.
you still listening?
We've said some horrible shit
They
in
haven't
that
quite
time.
figured out.
Yeah, well, you're a gem, and you're probably one of our few female listeners as well. So we appreciate you even more for that. Most of the women in my life have told me that respectfully that my podcast isn't for them, so they're not going to listen, which is okay.
I know. I told my mom I was recording a podcast today, and I was like, but you probably don't want to listen.
Yeah, true. This episode's been pretty tame, I think so.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Nothing too horrible.
I can fix
Gotta
that.
be careful.
We can do an impromptu Brad's Power Ranking where he just says something terrible.
Hey, remember, I am in a camp. I'm at their mercy.
Yeah. So, Sarah, do you want to do a guest segment for us? Have you got that planned?
Oh, okay. I did a little bit about that, the platform.
He's giving you homework.
So Sarah was telling me about this today. It's a movie on Netflix. Lachlan, you better play the sounder. And Sarah, you can just say whatever you want about the platform. Morgan's movie review with Sarah.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. Okay. So the movie The Platform, it's new on Netflix. I think it's new.
Yeah.
But watching it yesterday, I felt a little bit that it was reminiscent of my current situation.
Oh,
My first,
relevant.
yes. Because I feel like I just sit here and I wait for food to come. And the
That's
other
amazing.
part of the movie that I felt was a bit reminiscent is that frightening people just keep popping in and interrupting everything that you do. Oh yeah, and yesterday when I was watching it, actually, they forgot to bring me lunch, which is just like they forgot. I'm not mad about it, but I was sitting here having consumed a little bit of something to help me calm down, watching this movie where they're just eating a bunch of food and stuffing their faces, and it was really just terrifying.
Yeah.
How quickly did you consider eating another human being? That's what I'm going to do.
I thought about it, and I don't know if I could do it. I'm pretty picky. Like earlier, they brought me some fish, and I recognize the kind of fish. It's like a river catfish they have here, and the rivers are pretty polluted. So like I couldn't even eat that. Like,
Wow.
So I don't think I could do it. I think I'm too much of a baby.
I don't think I could do it raw, but cooked, I'd give it a whirl.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, definitely not raw. And definitely not, I mean, spoiler alert, but definitely not out of someone's face with maggots crawling out of it.
Oh my god.
Oh, good. Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
You guys need to watch this movie.
All right, Sarah,
Yeah.
so you're high out of your mind watching a movie about a prison where people are locked in there together, and you're in a prison where people are locked in there together. So, I mean, this stuff makes you paranoid already. Was that kind of a bad movie choice in hindsight?
I think maybe I would have had a different day if I watched a different movie, but I think it was okay.
Yeah.
Overall, yeah, the movie is pretty good. I don't understand what happened at all. I'll be honest with that. And I think even people who watched it totally sober don't know what happened in that movie.
Yeah, after I watched it, I googled like what happened at the end, and no one knows what happened. So you're not alone there.
It's one of those movies.
That's good.
So out of 10, Sarah, The Platform?
I'm gonna give it a 7, just in case it's a super smart movie, and that way I can pretend I knew all along.
Hedge your bets, one might say.
Oh, good God, Brad.
Yeah, well, I looked up the plot after we were talking about it today, and it does seem like a really, really interesting movie, but I do get frustrated by movies that have ambiguous endings, and maybe not even ambiguous, but like totally just incomprehensible, so it sounds like one of them, so I don't know if I'll watch it, but 7 out of 10 from Sarah? I don't know, might have to.
I'd recommend it.
You've seen
Listen
Old
to Sarah.
Boy?
Yes, Old Boy is excellent.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of
Old
Old
Boy's
Boy and the
amazing.
level of not knowing what happened.
I might have to check it out then, because Old Boy is fantastic.
Okay, well, I'm going to recommend some Disney movies for you, maybe some Pixar, just some like happy family movies like The Incredibles or Toy Story, something nice and upbeat and lifting.
Mulan.
Maybe that'd be good for you.
Yeah, that might be a good idea, but at the same time, it feels a little bit out of place.
Maybe Apocalypse Now or one of those other Good Morning Vietnam, something like that. Something classic.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Is that in poor taste that you're in the country that it happened in?
Sarah's blasting right at the Valkyries from my room.
But no, they have shirts everywhere at all the tourist shops that say like "Good Morning Vietnam"
Oh,
and
wow.
like reference all those old war movies. So
They've
they don't
embraced
care.
it.
I mean, I'm sure they care, but
They die a little bit inside every time someone buys one.
Yeah, so Sarah, while we have you, is there any episode topics that you would like us to cover? Because, you know, we obviously do random episode ideas all the time. So is there anything that you've been thinking, oh, I'd really like the guys to cover this?
have you done one about Pine Gap?
Oh, no, that's a good one.
What is it?
You
Pine
should
Gap?
do that because
Oh,
it's
you
local.
guys don't know about Pine Gap?
No.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
yeah, we're going to talk about Pine Gap for sure.
All right, add it.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Excellent, Sarah. I love it. I can't believe we haven't thought of that yet.
It was like the Outlaw
Yes,
Pass. I
I'm
had no clue
surprised
about that.
too.
Yeah, that's a local one.
Ooh, it's local. It's got everything
That's
you need.
right,
It's a
that's
little
right.
conspiracy, a
Oh,
little
it's
alien.
very
It's real
conspiracy.
spooky.
I love it.
Oh, sounds very up our alley.
Yeah, it does.
There's a Netflix TV show about it, but I haven't watched it
Oh,
because
really?
it looks pretty bad.
We'll check it out anyway.
Well,
Yeah,
Sarah, if
check
you can
it out.
find the time to watch it, maybe you should watch it.
I mean, I might have some time this week. We'll see.
Have to check your calendar.
Schedule's pretty open. Yeah, okay. So that's a really good episode idea. We'll definitely do that. So
Okay,
thanks,
great.
Thanks for suggesting.
All right, I've got an unrelated question, if you've got time.
Okay,
Yeah, okay. So I've heard that you
I
can
do.
pay money to shoot guns in Vietnam, like big guns,
Yeah.
right? that's
Actually, you do it down at this place called the Coochie Tunnels. I swear that's the real name.
Gucci
I swear.
tunnels.
Yes, but it's spelled CU space CHI.
Ah,
The
okay.
Coochie Tunnels. There's actually another quarantine camp there now.
Oh, that's
but
the
yeah,
cool
you can
quarantine
go-
camp. They've got all the fun toys.
I actually heard it's like not good.
Oh, God.
Because my friend, when I said I was coming to camp, she was like, "Oh, I hope you go to District 9 and not Coochie." So
District
You
9.
guys are in
District
Oh, yeah.
9.
yeah, like the Alien movie.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm in
Oh.
camp in District 9. I'm the alien.
You're fucking prawns.
Jesus.
Pink and fleshy.
So there is. Can you shoot rocket launchers like RPGs or?
I don't know about that, but it's like big machine guns, like helicopter guns. and
Holy
stuff.
shit.
Do you
Whoa.
get to shoot at targets or?
I don't know. I haven't been, but yeah, I think
what
at Target.
what Brad's trying to get at is, can he go there and pay to murder someone?
Okay, listen, it was in a roundabout way, but yeah, I was getting there.
One of my friends told me a rumor. Well,
Oh, here we
God.
go.
he said
Oh, God.
that if you have $100,000, that can get you off of almost any crime. And he didn't
Wow.
specifically say that, but I've heard a rumor from, this is like not a fact. No one should ever reference this as fact. But I have
Absolutely, this is going to be gospel now. Go ahead.
Okay, so $100,000, paypal.me/Brad is a bad person. If everyone could jump on there, we'll get Brad over to Vietnam and he can murder a human in cold blood.
I like the idea that it's a flat rate. So, like as soon as you kill one person, it's $100,000. But if you decide to go mass murder, it's still $100,000. Like, you know, I think that
That's
sounds
a good
fair.
point. Well, maybe mass murder doesn't count. I think mass murder, they might not let you. But it's just a rumor I've heard anyway.
Wow.
But I think it could
He used to
be
get
true.
paid for doing that in the 60s and 70s. They'd pay you.
Oh, no.
Wow.
So, Sarah, have you shot any big guns while you've been in Vietnam, or did you get your fill of that growing up in America?
No, you know, where I'm from, we're mostly handguns. So I didn't get to shoot any big ones in the U.S. And then I also haven't shot any big guns here. I never went on that tour. So I'm really letting my country down, I think.
They're not angry at you, they're just disappointed.
Try
But
harder.
when you're out of this and you're all safe and sound, I think, maybe you can go and celebrate life by shooting a cow or something down in the Coochie tunnels.
I don't think I want to shoot a cow. I think I could eat one. I mean, I know I do, but I don't think I could shoot it.
Okay. Well, we really appreciate you coming on the podcast and telling us what's going on in the Vietnamese prison camp. And it's been a real privilege to have you on, and we appreciate
thank you so much, Sarah. We really appreciate you coming on.
You've been an absolute
Thank
privilege.
you guys.
And also, thank you for listening to us. We appreciate that as well. Our longtime fans are the ones that we do this for, so thank you for listening. And hopefully now that you've experienced the show firsthand, that doesn't turn you off.
No, I think I like it even more.
Excellent.
Oh, that's what we want to hear.
Awesome.
Can't wait
make
for the
make
new
sure you
episode.
keep us updated, and we'll be watching your Instagram story to make sure that you're safe and happy and healthy. So
Thank you.
we're all thinking of you. Thoughts and prayers.
Thank you. Yeah.
One like
maybe-
equals one prayer for Sarah.
When this is all
Smash
over,
that prayer button.
I'll go shoot some big guns.
Yes.
I'll put it on the Instagram story.
Love it.
What a riot. Those guys are definitely worth following on Spotify and iTunes. And that's Sarah. Wasn't she a pistol? Anyway, it's your boy Brad coming to you from the future through the power of editing. We were in a little bit of a rush to get this one out to you, and we forgot to mention that you can be on this podcast like Sarah. If you or anyone you know is an expert at anything, stuff we haven't thought of, stuff we've covered in the past, or you have been trapped in a commie quarantine hellhole like Sarah, slide into our DMs, shoot us a message on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or an email, bradisabadperson@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. We're the People's Podcast, and we want more of you to be a part of it. Brad out. Awesome Walkers of Robot.